Hello there. If you believe Yvette Cooper on this, then you will believe anything. More words from yet another Home Secretary about stopping the boats and deporting illegal immigrants. But we all know this is total nonsense from the outset. And the now well-organised human rights machine will kick in and comprehensively derail all of her, probably weak, attempts to do so. Cooper has promised to detain more illegal immigrants and then deport them in record numbers. Yes, she says she's planning on achieving the highest 6-monthly rate of removal since 2017, when 32,720 were removed. And she's going to start all this by deporting 14,000 of them, including the criminal element, by the end of this year, in 4 and a bit months. But I wonder if the legal immigration numbers will see any significant falls. And this major surge in immigration enforcement and returns activity, as Cooper calls it, will involve opening 2 of the old immigration detention centres in Campsfield, Oxfordshire, and Haslar in Hampshire, which, according to the Times, will provide an extra 290 beds. That's half a day's boat arrivals then. Now, the Campsfield site was closed in 2018, after years of problems including hunger strikes, self-harm and suicides, while Haslar was closed in 2015 after a troubled history of abuse and neglect. And the relevant charities are already gearing up to attack Labour over reopening them, with Avid Detention saying back in June, while the Tories were in power by the way, the decision to reopen Haslar IRC is a worrying indication that the government is not serious about addressing the problems that have plagued the immigration detention system in the UK. So one assumes that would also apply to the Labour government, who is giving the reopening of the site their blessing. The charities obviously want all the inmates out of the camps and instantly housed comfortably within the community. And the National Crime Agency will get another 100 agents to track down the people smugglers and smash the gangs. Probably working from home and not able to be contacted out of hours while working 4 days a week, no doubt. And straight away this focus on deportations has run into criticisms, with refugee charities claiming that Cooper is just repeating the mistakes of the last Tory government. And the whole effort will be overseen by the Home Office Director General of Immigration Enforcement, Baz Javid, the brother of a previous Home Secretary, Sajid Javid. Small world in the Westminster bubble, isn't it? Now, Yvette Cooper has also pledged to crack down on those employing illegal migrants, and she is looking at making it a criminal offence instead of a civil fine. Where will they be locked up, though, now our prisons are full of those dissenting to open borders? Couldn't make it up, could you? Now, in the past, the lefty woke Labour crowd have done all they can to derail any attempt at stopping the boats and any deportations. So although this all looks good on paper, I'll wait until I see what actually happens on the ground. And I will also point out that these illegal arrivals have been ramping up over the years to the delight of the woke left. And Cooper will have to confront those lefties in the very near future if she's really committed to doing this. We've all seen the lefties that Yvette Cooper and her Labour Party relies on for votes stopping deportation proceedings in very fast and well-coordinated responses. Almost like they had a hotline to the Home Office Deportation Department. And then there's the judiciary, which ensures every clause in the European Convention on Human Rights and the Human Rights Act is squeezed dry for all opportunities to ensure deportations never happen. Now, Yvette Cooper is claiming that since it came to power 6 weeks ago, Labour has overseen 9 deportation flights, including one of 200 people to Brazil. Are we really expected to believe that after all the stories we've heard about lengthy appeals going on for years, that suddenly hundreds of illegals have climbed meekly onto a plane just because Yvette's in office? Don't make me laugh. I would surmise that these deportations were the results of long-term and very costly but watertight legal actions over months, if not years, under the Tories. I reckon Labour grudgingly just gave them a wave goodbye. I doubt there's much chance of deporting anyone within 6 weeks in this now red tape and lawfare-infested immigration legal system. And there's absolutely no chance of deporting anyone back to Afghanistan, Syria or Iran, even if they voluntarily go back there for a couple of weeks a year for their holidays. Then there's the Labour claim that as soon as they stepped into office, the numbers arriving by small boat had fallen. And they claim that as their win, because they've been so nice to the French. But the French police had already been getting more effective on their beaches for many months, with The Guardian reporting back in March that French police funded by the UK government have endangered the lives of vulnerable migrants by intercepting small boats in the Channel, using tactics that search and rescue experts say could cause a mass casualty event. And The Guardian went on to say that this had started in the summer of 2023. Wonder if The Guardian will be changing its tune now that the same thing appears to be happening with the French police now being funded by a Labour government. But what will Labour be saying when the economy starts tanking under their growth-destroying policies? Yes, blaming it on the Tories. But whatever she says, as I've pointed out, Yvette Cooper will have to face off with the pro-open borders Brigade. The chief executive of Care for Calais, Steve Smith, said, "The new government, continuing to invest in border security rather than workable solutions, is repeating the mistakes of the last government. The evidence shows that these so-called deterrents don't work. They do nothing to reduce channel crossings. They just force people to take greater risks to do so. The only way to stop crossings and to save lives is to create safe routes for people to claim asylum in the UK. That's what the new government should be focusing on." Does that effectively mean just laying on the ferries? Why, oh why, are British nationals able to openly operate in a manner that could be construed as assisting people to take the risk of a channel crossing on a small boat? Could it be classed as some sort of incitement to self-harm? I don't know. Now, if Yvette Cooper thinks that just because she's in a lefty woke party that she can pursue anything other than an open borders policy and not end up in confrontation with the extreme lefties, then she's got a shock coming to her. Yvette Cooper may say she'll smash the people smuggling gangs, but she's up against the 100% committed smash the borders activists. And if she is not on board with all of that, then she'll be seen as the enemy and end up failing just like the Tories did. All because it's all talk and no action, because Labour will never leave the international institutions that force all this open borders nonsense on us in the first place. I hope I'm wrong, but as far as I'm concerned, Cooper will fail. Immigration will still be in huge numbers, both legal and illegal, while deportations will be halted in their droves. She'll end up having to resign and be replaced by the next victim of the establishment internationalism.